What's up, boys and girls? Darkstar here, showing you a couple new maps. This first map is Untamed GP, made by my man ETS Monster. Obviously, it is a Grand Prix track. It's mostly flat, and obviously it is built on a Tin Cup mod to make all that sexy grass. I'm really loving the trend with the GP tracks lately. I love racing them. A lot of people are starting to embrace the idea, and a lot of people are making them. I'm really into the real life simulation style tracks. The closer you can get to like a Forza Motorsport style race, I think the better, and the more competitive your races are going to be. As you can see here, this is pretty competitive. The main pack is all close together. The better drivers will always make their way to the front of the pack. And they make for good races. Aesthetically, this map is pretty sexy. It's not awesome. There's no one particular thing that makes it aesthetically great. The idea here is to try to make it look like an actual real life racetrack, as opposed to lots of silly nonsense with kill balls and stuff like that off on the side. That kind of stuff. It's neat, but it seems like it's kind of like an aesthetic cop out to me. I'll put a freaking a big antenna with a kill ball in it, and that'll be my aesthetics. And that kind of shit may have been cool, the first month Reach was out, but to do it now is very sadly creatively lacking. And for me, I always prefer a track or a map that kind of takes you out of Halo and puts you in an actual place. And this does have the aesthetics that put you in an actual real live racetrack, which is really cool for me. So nice GP Monster. Moving on to the next track. This is made by iDragonface. It's called Copper SX. Now, there's not much going on here aesthetically. He did make an ORL sign. It's pretty cool looking, but he didn't do much else to fix it up. And as you can see, that starting gate is kind of pointless. I can drive right over it if I hit it hard, but that's an easy fix. And if you even care, it doesn't really affect the race all that much if people aren't douchebags. It's got this epic drift turn here. I do a little 180 action on it for you guys, because I'm so sexy and I like to drive and make it all cool and groovy, yeah! But yeah, this track was pretty cool. This little rollover. The jumps all were pretty consistent. I didn't do a whole lot of laps on it, but the laps I did do, the jumps all seemed to work fine. But ultimately, you don't really find out a jump is inconsistent until you've done. And if you hit a jump and it works perfectly 20 times in a row, it's probably consistent. But until you've done that, it's hard to tell if it's actually going to be a consistent jump or not. So these jumps all worked okay for me. In I did like 4 or 5 3-lap runs on it, and it was pretty consistent the entire time. So I'm going to say they're consistent. Back to the rollover. The berms, the berms on this were a little rough. The angling from the flat to the angle surface was pretty rough. If you didn't hit it at the exact perfect angle, it was kind of like hitting a brick wall. So yeah, I would fix those berms up a bit. Maybe get X-Rains to come in and do them. Nobody does berms better than X-Rains. So yeah, freaking drift turn. I didn't do the 180 on the last one. I wanted to see if my lap was much faster. It was a little faster. Obviously, doing that 180 kind of slows you down quite a bit. But running out of stuff to say. Getting to the next video track. Yeah, so that's Copper SX by iDragonface I. Do a little donut action. Now this is a track I just finished making called Metro Raceway. It is made on a block wall mod. As you can see, I constructed a massive city in the background to kind of give you the impression that it's a racetrack built on the outskirts of a massive city. Hence the massive city. This is another GP style track. It's more of a road course than GP. I'm hesitant to try to define the difference. I would say a road course has much more inclines and banked turns occasionally I had to use a lot of tapering to get this track right. You know, ultimately I was trying to follow the contours of the Hemorrhage landscape. A friend of mine calls this track the Hills of Hemorrhage, which is actually kind of a cool name. I might actually change the name of it, but for now it's Metro Raceway. As you can see, slight banking on some of these turns. You know, little hills that go up and down, rolling with the terrain. And like I said, I tried to follow the natural terrain of Hemorrhage. This turn right here is pretty cool. It's not unlike the corkscrew turn on Laguna Seca. It's significantly easier than the corkscrew on Laguna Seca, but it's pretty cool. Again, with the rolling hills, following the terrain.
Checkpoint reached.
And I put in a little overpass because I just like making overpasses, and I had the pieces to do it with the block and wall mod, which I did use significantly. This track is almost entirely blocks and walls. This big NASCAR turn, the tapering in and out of it is freaking so subtle. There's no, you won't feel a single bump on that when you're driving it, and it's really smooth. Now I kind of incorporated some double wide racetrack making techniques when I did this. You know, at times a road course like this is almost like a really flat double wide that's right on the ground. But again, it's much tighter turns, like you wouldn't see hairpin turns like on this track on a double wide, and stuff like that makes a track like this way more competitive than a double wide. Right there, that was a 51-second lap. 51 seconds is the lap track record on this track. So yeah, that is Metro Raceway. Nice long look at that city. It's really cool as you come around that turn, and you get a look at it. When you start the race, you have your back to it, and then you come around that turn, it's like boom, freaking epic city. It's kind of a, I've got a track called Atlantic Boulevard, which is it's a city track that is on the opposite side of where that city is. It utilizes the coastline in Hemorrhage, and I had a friend suggest that this is actually the same city from another angle. I call that city Callisto City. Callisto is one of the moons of Jupiter. Theoretically, the UNSC has terraformed that moon and now is building racetracks on it. But that's the idea. Those are 3 awesome maps. Thanks for watching, you guys. Darkstar out. Peace.